Greetings once again. It's your boy Cypher the MC, the Muhammad Ali of MCs. Welcome to the Enter the Cypher podcast, where we take a look at ourselves on this journey through life and become the best version of ourselves. And I say we, because I'm on this journey with you. So we're coming upon another week.
Another one.
Hard to believe that it's almost June, people. It's almost June. Wait a minute, DJ. There we go. Had to make sure the DJ was on point. Chris Paul. Steph Curry.
Yep.
As I said, we're coming up on another week. And this week will actually take us into June. 6 months. This year is almost halfway over. It's hard to believe. A lot of things to do, a lot of things to cover, a lot of things to pretty much continue to progress with, but definitely I appreciate you downloading the podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, drop a mic on the like button for your boy, hit the subscribe, all that good stuff, because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Shout out to Jay-Z. We're about to get into our disclaimers so we can get into today's podcast episode, because I got some news at the end for you. I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist.
Nope.
I'm not a reality expert. A relationship expert. Not that. Not a family therapist or, relationship guru or anything of the sort. I don't have any masters or doctorates on my wall from Harvard. Ooh. I am just a regular. Say it with me now. And it's soon going to be on some shirts. Joe Schmo. Just a regular guy giving you the benefit of his experience, my perspective on human nature, being an observer of human nature, as we continue to look at things from different perspectives to try to get to a point where we're on an even keel. We have balance in our lives to fulfill our purpose that the Creator has placed us on this earth to fulfill. Now, with that being said, you're probably looking at today's topic and says, well, this is kind of similar to, an episode that we've had before, and rightfully so. What we fail to realize and understand is sometimes is that a lot of things are connected. It may take us on a slightly different path, slightly different fork in the road, but it's still the same path, same journey. And yes, today's topic, are you internally or externally motivated? Like, what motivates you to do the things that you do, or the things that you love to do? Sometimes we call them passions when they're internally motivated. You may have a passion for music, or you may have a passion for drawing. You may have a passion for dance. It's something that no one really has to say to you, hey, do you want to dance? Do you want to write a song?
There's facts, man.
Do you want to create something? No, it's already within you to want to do that. It's like, whoa, really? Tell me more. What ideas do you have? It immediately sparks your curiosity. It immediately gets you going. It immediately does this. Versus those of us who may be externally motivated. You have to have a little a push, or maybe something has to come into your vision or your scope of sight, so to speak, that you say, hey, I'd like to try that. Now, there's nothing wrong with either one, but I wanted to kind of take a little bit of a deeper delve. SAT words, people.
Yep.
Into basically what motivates you. This is for those that, take the time to do those self-checks that I recommend. Whether it's daily, whether it's weekly, whether it's monthly. Those self-checks where you kind of wonder and ask yourself, where am I? Not necessarily your location in life, but like what motivates you? But not only what motivates you, but how does it motivate you? You'll find that most successful people, most of the quote unquote millionaires and billionaires and all these gurus that have their ads constantly on your timeline, on your phone or your TVs or your desktops. For the most part, you would say, well, they're internally motivated. They've reached a certain level that we see that may have some, external motivation, but they're coming across as internally motivated. They want to sell you their master class, take you to their webinar, sell you tickets, or if they're free, sell you tickets to come to their live event to show you how to make money online or to live a healthier life. I would say that most of those individuals are internally motivated. Most are, I would deem genuine, that, hey, I want to make sure that everyone knows about this, that it's easy to, create a passive income, or it's easy to, work from home and do the things that you want to do and have time for yourself, have time for your family, have that, time freedom that we often don't have. Let's face it, most of us have at some point in our lives exchanged time for money, i.e. a job, some sort of career that supposedly was supposed to give us that financial freedom, that financial outlook, that at the end of the rainbow there's going to be your pot of gold, oh, your Lucky Charms. But let's face it, after a while, especially if you were young, you started working when you were younger, when you're 16, 17 years old, by the time you're in your 30s, you would have worked 10 plus years. If you were working consistently, 10 plus years you've worked. And you can kind of ask yourself, like, right now, where am I in my journey? Am I closer to that house? Am I closer to that dream car? Am I closer to that life of fulfillment that I actually want and have dreamed for? You may be, you may not. Like I said, we're coming upon June, people. We're coming upon June. 2023 is almost over. It's hard to believe that we're 23 years into the new millennium. I mean, I think about things like that. Like, we're 23 years into the new millennium. 23 years past the whole Y2K and all that sort of stuff. And where you are right now, 6 months almost into a new year, what is motivating you for the next 6 months? Is it going to be something that internally you're going to be looking at, like, hey, I need to make sure that I'm on point. I need to make sure that I am, got all my bases covered. I have all my ducks in a row. I mean, if you really think about it, ducks never really be in a row. There's always that one straggler. Anyway. Bruh. But yeah. 6 months have, when you really think about it, 6 months have really come. And we have 6 more months in this year. 6 more months in this calendar year. Have you set any goals for yourself? Whether they're small goals, whether they're big goals, whether they're, short-term goals that are going to lead to longer goals. I myself, as a CEO, I kind of have to divide everything up into quarters, like the CEOs that are billionaires. I'm on my way. I have to divide everything up into quarters, so that way I'll know, okay, for this quarter here, these goals have to be met. This is on my list of goals. It could be a few, it could be a lot. It depends on where I am at from the previous quarter. So the second quarter is near an end. So we're coming up on the third quarter. So I myself, I'm internally motivated to make sure that I set those goals and then I'm working towards them. For my externally motivated people, I mean, do you find yourself having to have someone kind of remind you, or that person that, hey, you know, I went back to the gym today. And then you're like, you know what? I'm going to the gym today too. You've motivated me. I have to get back right. It's hot girl summer. It's hot guy summer, whatever. I don't know if there's a hot guy summer. If there isn't, I'm going to create one. But yeah, if you're an externally motivated individual, had that person not come along, or had that idea not come along through whatever external channel, would you still be where you're at right now? Would you still be kind of, I don't know what to do, or would you even be thinking about it? Something to think about. Are you someone that is ready to strike out on their own and get their first apartment? You and your roommates are all ready and set to go to live the good life and pretty much get your life started? Or are you about to leave college and looking for a new place to live in a new city with your new degree? Well, guess what? There's a company called Credit Rent Boost that will allow you to get credit for the rent that you pay and get it reported to the credit bureaus. This will not only allow you to boost your credit, but also set you up long term, so when you are ready to make your first purchase as a homeowner. So give them a try. CreditRentBoost.com, and you can use promotion code OVM24522. It may be the best decision you ever made. Now, it's very easy for us to depend on external motivation. Now, the purpose of this episode is to not depend on external motivation. That's the whole focus. Don't depend on it, because then you're always going to have a need of someone outside of yourself to kind of push you and prod you and kind of just try to steer you towards where you should already know where you want to go. They do not know what is on your GPS. They don't know your destination. But you should. You should. So it shouldn't be a matter of that, you know, your spouse or your significant other or your best friend or a family member or even a work colleague. They can check up on you, and that's great, because you know you need that support system. It's invaluable. Trust me, it's invaluable to have people in your corner that are always going to, hey, did you work on that? What's the name you said you were going to work on? Did you make the list of things that you were going to do? Because it shows that they're taking action on that support versus just saying, I'm going to support you. They're taking action behind it. But you can't depend on that, because they have their own lives. They have their own things going on, so to speak. And you can't really say, well, you didn't remind me to write down my goals. It is no one's job to remind you to write down your goals for yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
It is no one's job or responsibility to kind of keep tabs on you to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, if they don't know exactly the way that you want to go about doing it. Ooh. Does that make sense? You don't want someone to kind of have too much influence if they don't really know your vision. If they can't see your vision, then how can they really fully support it or motivate you towards it? Again, definitely something to think about. Have you ever thought of possibly starting your own podcast? Well, I can tell you firsthand that it can feel overwhelming if you don't know where to get started, and that's where Buzzsprout comes in. Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch a professional podcast, already helping over 100,000 people launch their own podcasts. Buzzsprout will get your podcast into every major podcasting platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. You also will get a great-looking podcasting website and so much more. To start your own podcast and get a $20 Amazon gift card, follow the link in the show notes. This lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you and helps support our show. Buzzsprout, the easiest way to start a podcast. So where do you find yourself? Do you find yourself more internally motivated, or are you kind of focused? Are you zoomed in, so to speak? Are you zeroed in? I mean, we can all get kind of, scatterbrained at time, and we're kind of like, okay, what do I need to focus on? What do I need to do? And it's good to have someone there to kind of say, hey, you remember you were trying to do this, you were trying to do that, and stuff like that. And then it's like, oh, thanks. Appreciate that. That's the type of motivation you need, but that's where it should end. It should stop there. You shouldn't have to depend on it or need it like a feeding tube or like an IV in your arm. Oh my God, you have to constantly get externally motivated to fulfill what you already know is inside of you. You may not want to believe it, you may not understand it, but when you are tuned into, okay, I'm locked into what I need to do because this is where I want to be, this is what I want to do, you will depend on external motivation less and less. You will welcome it when it comes, if it comes. But if it doesn't, you're fine. You're still good because you yourself, you're internally focused on the next chapter, the next thing, the next chapter of the book that you want to write, the next dance steps of that choreography that you're creating, the next character that you're drawing, the next content as a content creator that you're creating. So continue to stay internally focused, to stay focused within yourself first, because that is going to take you a lot further than any external motivation that may come along, because that external motivation is not tuned into the vision. There lies the difference. When you are focused and zeroed in, you're focused in, and because you know the end game, you know the goal that you want to reach. So when you are internally motivated, it is you are on point. Again, Chris Paul, Steph Curry.
He's on fire.
So guys, continue to be motivated. Continue to pray and stay focused. The Creator has a purpose for you. You have to believe that because I believe that in you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Into the Cypher podcast, available on all platforms, as well as the YouTube channel, The Real Cypher TV, and everything. So, of course, as always, drop a mic on that like button, subscribe. It's free. It's free. You can definitely support the channel in any way possible. My links are in the description below. And slight change up, ever so. Moving forward, the podcast now will be dropping on Wednesdays. That's right, people, Wednesdays. Your boy is coming to you in the middle of the week.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The middle of the week, and I figured the change would be a little bit better, would be a little bit more useful, because as you're going through the end of your week and things of that nature, I want to be, if possible, a go-to source for that oomph, for that motivation to kind of get through the rest of the week into the weekend, to keep us focused, to keep us motivated. So moving forward, there won't be a new episode next Sunday, but next Wednesday, a new episode will drop in June. We'll already be in June, people. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. But yes, wanted to bring that news. Of course, the store is coming, coming up with a new website and things of that nature, coming as well. So it's going to be totally different from the podcast website and everything such as that. So yeah, I'm focused. I'm internally motivated.
I'm focused,
to be
man.
there, to be a resource for each and every one of you. If you have any questions or anything such as that may make it to the show, regardless of what the topic is, hit me up on Twitter, Ask the MC. Hashtag Ask the MC. Hit me up on Twitter and everything like that, and it may make it on the show. You may get a shout out. Better yet, you will get a shout out because it'll make it on the show.
You said it yourself.
Boom. But guys, have a blessed week. Continue to stay focused. Continue to be the very best that you can be. And as always, before you love anyone else, you must first love yourself. And I am out this thing. Cypher.
I will not lose. Let me tell you dudes what I do to protect this. Shoot at you actors like movie directors.